And picked up kitchen cabinets for $10 a piece. You can't complain about that, and it's nice storage and it's cheaper than buying brand new cabinets. So welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you for being part of it. And if you are new here, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Don't forget, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States time, we do what we call a club meeting chat, a live feed on the YouTube channel here. So watch for that every Sunday night. We have a lot of fun. We usually end up with 60, 70 people in there now, and it's a great time. Everybody gabbing back and forth about a little bit of everything, not just car stuff, just everything. It's been great. It really has. And if you do get a chance, feel free to go to the website and check out. There's a donation tab. I'd really appreciate it. If you can't, it's okay. It just helps keep the community going along. And also, there's stickers, there's T-shirts available, and this sounded like a dang commercial. But once in a while, I like to throw that in. Every little bit helps keep it going for me to keep up the channel, and upgrade equipment as needed. Today, this came up in a club meeting chat, I believe a couple weeks ago. We were just talking about new videos that are upcoming. What I'm going to do next week is take a door apart and show how to properly scrub and clean the regulator inside for the ones that are stiff to roll up and down, and you should do that anyhow. So I'm going to do a nice tutorial on that, and then we're going to start finishing the inner wells up in the car and the front beam. We're going to go ahead and mock that up to make sure it fits right. It's new, Brazilian one. Then we'll undercoat it and blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot coming up. Also, I'm going to throw an extra video in, and what that will be is Volkswagen air-cooled motors and oil leaks. How to prevent them. I'm going to go over a lot of stuff on that. And it'll be mostly me pointing to stuff and talking, but hopefully it'll help a few. Everybody in the chat was pretty excited about that one, so I'm going to do that probably next week. But I got to take Heather back to the junkyard with me and cut the dash out of the 67. My brain stopped working again. I hate that. We got to get the dash out of the 67 for her car. So today, what we're going to do, and I'm sorry about the long spill there, we are going to show what tools I have on hand, what equipment I keep, what I use, because quite a few people were excited and wanted to know what was in Slades' garage. What tools do you keep on hand? What do you use? What do you like? What compressor do you have? Different things. So we're going to go over everything in my garage that I keep on hand and things that you might want to keep on hand and show you a little bit of everything. I think it's a fun video today. It gives a break from the car just for a day for me. So let's go ahead and take a snoop around and see what all I have. Let's get on it. Okay, so for the first thing, obviously, is the toolbox. And I want to thank Heather for that. My old one was tired, beat up, and wore out, and I would think it would be about 3, 4, 5 years ago, I can't remember, she bought me a whole new setup. That was really nice of her. So first we're going to start out here and go through the toolbox and see what I keep on hand. It doesn't mean you need to keep all this stuff on hand, but it's just, I'm letting everybody into my garage and be nosy a little bit. So, okay, let's go ahead and see. I'll bring you over the best I can with this and try to keep the camera angles good. So, come on. So, as we go to the top, as you can see, I keep a lot of extra ratchets, and I know that's quite a few. These are extras, believe it or not, and I like the flexible head ones. I need to find a Cornwell guy because this is warranted and it needs replaced. But there's all my brake tools, you know, for the spring on the backing plate and pulling your springs. I can't find the one tool. Brake adjusters, you know, this is older school stuff. So that there, but I keep all the extra ratchets. Here's a nice little shorty ratchet, which is nice. But those are extras. There's all of my big Allen heads. Okay. I keep a pretty nice setup of Allen heads because you never know. And they're American, as you can see, and metric. Those are Cobalt from Lowe's. And they do come in handy, that's for sure. And then there's the one I had since I was 16, the good old 17 millimeter. You know what I used that for, didn't you? That was for the VW transaxle. And of course there's Torx and Allen heads that will end up in a carry bag in the car. And a bunch of Allen heads and Torx, because I'm always working on something, even on my newer cars, you know. So, and there's a nice Allen head set, which is 12, 14, and 17. And of course that one's nice for the VW transaxle also. So that's the top part there, and everything I need. Here's my snap-on breaker bar. These ones are pretty tough. It's hard to break these, you know, compared to some of them. So that's the old school breaker bar. And there's my Super Beetles Only sticker. I got 2 off of him. That one I don't want to stick it nowhere yet because I'm not sure I need it. So, okay, so that is the top part. Let's go ahead and start going through the drawers. Here's the top drawer. We have screwdrivers. Now I have some pretty large ones, you know, that are old snap-ons. And believe it or not, they come in handy. Here's some important ones I have here. These are number 4s. Do you know what they're for? The number 4 Phillips is for, wait, I got a couple here. I know, I'm all over the place already. The screws for your doors. These ones. Those are number 4 Phillips. So you should have the number 4 Phillips so that you can go ahead and, you know, take the screws out of the doors. And I'll show you something else I have for that too. But here's just the big assortment of Phillips and straight. And yes, I do keep my stuff pretty neat. I have to. Second drawer, sockets. These are only half of what I have actually. There is impacts in here, deep well impacts. Those are American. I have a bunch of miscellaneous sockets too that I had extras of, so I went and exchanged them and got new ones. So I got extra 15 millimeter, stuff like that. These are all came from extra cars that I had. So cars that you buy, there's tools left under the seats, stuff like that. I go and exchange them and get new ones, you know. So, and then there's 1 1/4 deep, you know, a lot of deep sockets, 22 millimeter. These are American. This is a nice set here, swivel head sockets. They're metric snap-ons. So those are really, really nice to have. All impacts, as you could see. These are all metric deep well. They really come in handy. One thing I'm not seeing, it's kind of weird. I'll find it. Okay, that's 1 1/16. That's for the steering wheels. The nuts on the steering wheels that I use. I believe there's 2. Yeah, there are. And okay, that's the sockets. That's only some. I'll show you why in a minute. I have a lot of swivels. I keep a lot of extra stuff on hand. I always have. Okay, what's in the next drawer? These are my babies, my 36 millimeter. Should have an impact. People say that, but I've never needed one. And there's another one. These are both 36 millimeter. And I have a couple 30, 32 millimeter. I can't remember what I even bought them for. I really don't know. Here's a screw extractor kit. Lots of drill bits. Lots of drill bits. They're all good ones. And of course a pick set for picking stuff. And a soldering iron. And a punch set. I keep a lot of different punches on hand. You never know what you're going to have to pop out or push out, so lots of punches. I keep a spot weld cutter on hand. I guess you don't need to ask why with Volkswagen. And lots of extensions I've had over the years. And here's some interesting ones. This snap-on one, see the end of it, how it's beveled? Here, I'll show you something. Whoop. When you put a socket on the beveled one, it will give a little bit. So if you're getting into a tight area and you don't want to use a swivel, this will give a little bit. It don't look like it on film, I can tell, but it will give and bow a little bit. And I have a couple of those, actually. But it's nice to have an assortment of extensions on hand. And wrenches. Can never have enough wrenches. The way I keep them sorted is from here over is American. Okay, it's all SAE. And then from here over is all metric. Lots of doubles and triples. I don't know how that happens over the years, but like 17 millimeter, I have like 4 of them because there's some hanging on the wall. So I have a lot of them. How I ended up with all these, I don't know. The little ignition wrenches, I have 3 sets. I should clean one set up. They're old. See that? And they're still warranted. Maybe I'll clean one set up really, really nice and clean the case, and we can do a giveaway on it if anybody's interested in seeing something like that. And there's my, I call them ratchet wrenches. You know, I have a couple of them on hand. But lots of wrenches, and I'll show you where the rest are because I have too many. And we have our pliers. And these pair always amaze me because they are big. They're almost as wide as the Toolbox. I don't know where I got them, but I have used them before when I'm bending metal and stuff. But I keep a lot of channel locks on hand. Lots of different vice grips, angled ones, just different kinds. And they come in handy. Of course, cutters for metal. Green is for left-handers, which I am. My buddy Justin taught me that one. Said green handled, and I'm left-handed. So, and then of course we have pliers, different needle noses, different sizes of needle noses. These look like almost electrical pliers to me there. I don't know, maybe electrician guys would know. And side cutters, snap on. And a lot of crescent wrenches. I have a lot of different sizes of the crescent wrenches. So, and wire strippers, long needle noses. So those help out. Let's move along. Okay, this is like, you know how everybody has a kitchen drawer in their house with a bunch of stuff in it? That's what this is. What we have is, I keep my Snappering pliers here, and I will say these are my favorite. These are actually Channel Lock brand, and I believe I got them at, I think I got them at Lowe's. And you either go like that, or the opposite way. I love these things. They're really nice. They've been really durable. There's the part number. I love these Channel Locks, or I'm sorry, made by Channel Lock, Snappering pliers. I love them. I really do. I have, of course, tubing cutters there, a couple different kinds. This seems like electrical pliers to me, too. Look at the burn marks. See the burn marks from like somebody was hitting lines or bumping them? But I keep them. They're pretty cool. There's big jaws, I call them, for holding panels on. A couple pipe wrenches, and my favorite, my brake line bender, which I'll be demonstrating that again very soon because we're putting all new brake lines on. So I love these things. They're nice. They're good for doing tight corners without it bending. But when the time comes, I'll show you what I do to make them even better than stock. Stock, is that a word for this? Okay. Just Teflon tape, electric tape, stuff like that. Let's move along. Hammers. Okay. So, just regular hammers, claw hammers. My big ugly ball peen. I got a couple of them. See, there's one there too. These things are from the mill. They're rough. Dead blow hammer, a rubber mallet, little sledgehammer, baby sledge. and some more older style hammers and a pick hammer for welding. I know hammers aren't very exciting. This dead blow hammer's really come along. It's helped me a lot. So, okay, let's move down. And I'm sorry, the weird camera angles, you know, just for this right now. There's this, and we have our Craftsman meter. I like this. You know, it's voltmeter, ohms. It's a really, really nice one. Somebody bought this for me for Christmas about 5 years ago. And I keep on hand, which I use a lot, is my digital calipers that are on. Probably bumped it when I opened it. I got them from Amazon, and they've been pretty reliable. I've had no problem with them. Okay, these are just electrical connectors. This is a very important one that I had used quite often on more intricate things. I got this from Amazon. It is a torque wrench, and it is for inch pounds. It's not for foot pounds. It's small. You could see, there's my hand with a big boo-boo. Everybody feel bad? That's for inch pounds. And it's so, you got to be so gentle with the inch pounds. It doesn't even make a loud click. You'll just feel a light dunk, and that's it. So, and I keep electrical files on hand for doing our corroded little fuse panels for the Beetles. Another railroad hammer, crowbar. These are for my buffer, you know. And here's some older style torque wrenches, old Craftsman ones. We know the needle ones. These ones are usually pretty good. They really are. I personally like them better, but that's just me. Extra breaker bars, ball joint forks or pickle forks, whatever you like to call them. Okay, let's move down to the next one. A lot of crap in there, huh? I keep extra little cases I get at Harbor Freight of the nuts and bolts. And I love these, the heat shrink. Those are nice. And a whole big box of O-rings, different sizes, different clamps for fuel lines and stuff. Screws with the body mount clips, flat washers, and old style fuses, and I got the hiccups. Isn't that great? Assortment of vacuum caps. And these are grommets that actually, I keep an assortment of them. They're the kind where your brake line's going through the body and they kind of fit into a slot and then your cable goes through it to seal it. Like that. Mechanics wire. I have 2 clicker torque wrenches here. 3/8 drive. And no sense opening that. That's a 1/2 inch drive. So we have those. I'll try to, there we go. And the next drawer. Whoomp. Whoa, sorry about that. So we have, I keep a little Ryobi set for my screw gun. It's pretty strong. It's almost like a hammer gun. And I can put sockets on it and stuff like that and zip stuff on and off a little bit faster. So that's kind of nice. And of course my grinder. I never keep the guard on it. Don't be like me, you know. But there's my trusty old grinder and cutter. These, I got to get out of here. Those are just to pump your tires up and plug into a cigarette lighter. I should keep one in my wife's Jeep. You think I would. Here is a OBD2, you know, for checking codes. And I'm going to hit the thing again. Here is, there's a rivet gun. What are these? That's Sawzall blades. And there's my timing light. And I love that timing light because it's got the adjustment on the back to dial them in. Electric impact gun, a Milwaukee drill, and a Craftsman drill. And those are great. I use a lot of the Milwaukee one, as you can see the wire wheel on the end, for wire wheeling, cleaning everything up. But they come in great handy. And the last drawer on this, and I have a battery charger. It's a nice one, actually. It has the jump start and everything. Here's a very large assortment for my Dremel with different, you know, little buffer wheels, sanding drums, stuff like that. A little bit of everything. And then, of course, I ain't going to pull it out, but my Dremel's there. I need to put them in the box. I don't know what's under it. Oh, plastic auto trim removal set. This, I can't remember what it is now. Oh, that's a Harmonic balance gear puller set. So I have the Harmonic balance puller, and this is my buddy's. He said just keep it. I don't use it much until I need it back. It's the torque multiplier. Woo! And that's really nice of him because, well, he knows what I do. So, I mean, I constantly am using that. So that was very nice of him instead of me buying one. Okay, so on the wall, I guess you could see my respirator. I have brake line wrenches and then just miscellaneous extra wrenches. Some I've heated and bent to my needs and just extras. Extra metric wrenches, stubby metric wrenches, more drill bits, extra C-clamps, there's quite a few of them, and there's an extra set here, and I use these a lot, the ratchet wrench on one end, and of course normal on the other. And I keep a lot of stuff on hand, extra fuel line, fuel hose, like I keep a lot of that stuff on hand. Service air conditioning, you know. I didn't even open this, sadly. It's old. Vacuum and pressure tester. Pretty cool. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go through this stuff. I just keep carb cleaner, brake clean. I just had to pick this up. What was it? I was Weld through primer. But I have just a lot of stuff on hand that most of you really could care less about, you know. It's just crap I keep on hand. And actually, my son bought me this Milwaukee impact driver. This thing is crazy strong. And that's what I put sockets on the end of sometimes. And it is really strong. I love that thing. And this here, I'm not going to go through it. It's just stupid. I still have probably 100 sockets in there, mostly all Craftsman snap-on. I have nowhere to put them, so I don't know what to do with them. On hand, I keep a lot of, you could see, the old German bolts, interior screws, washers, and of course I'm weird and I label the bolt sizes, you know, that I have on hand. I know that's strange. Cotter pins, just a little bit of everything. So I always keep that stuff on hand. Very important clock. Heather bought me that. What do we have here besides a stereo and some big speakers hidden in the ceiling? I just have a lot of little miscellaneous parts that I keep on hand. All Volkswagen stuff. I buy these at Harbor Freight, these little containers. There's a couple plugs, but I gotta fix that. Lots of little parts. And recently at Harbor Freight, they had these for $3 on clearance, these bins, and they happened to fit right on my shelving unit, which was nice. It's great what they hold. I need to put these, I think our 67 are back. I need to put them on a marketplace, so I'm not going to use them. Original German set, but I'll do that when I get time. But that helps, and I'll show you what else I have down here. I guess you can see an engine stand, okay, and I have, this is pretty cool. That's for holding pulleys to keep them from turning so that you can get a bolt or a nut off on a Toyota, but I've used it on a Beetle. Look, another torque wrench. This is the big kahuna. That one I got on Amazon. It goes up to 250 foot-pound. So, you know what I use that for. And that was before Ted actually had loaned me the torque multiplier. Some Sawzalls down there. And let's move to another area. Another thing, now this Lincoln welder's not mine. It's my buddy's who loaned me it. This I haven't even used yet. I got a brand new Harbor Freight Flux core. Now, before some of you say, go buy a welder with a tank and all that, I can't afford it right now. Would I like to have a better welder, like a Lincoln or a Miller with, you know, the argon tank? Of course I would. I'll eventually get one, but right now I can't. I'll explain where a lot of other money is going to be going. But for this Flux core, they do work good enough for right now, okay? So it gets the job done if need be, just a little more cleanup and grinding work. So that's the welder. What do we have under the bench? Okay, a bunch of junk too, but oh, never have no room. Here is a 40-piece tap and die set that I got from Harbor Freight, which has been very helpful. And that's just a bunch of electrical connectors, old 1157 bulbs, stuff like that. These are boxes of parts. Let's move over here. So what we have here, and I told you I have more sockets. That's my Craftsman set. That's my to-go-to. Has pretty much everything, literally. So extra extensions. I take this to the junkyard with me a lot too, because it pretty much has everything I need. Metric American, deep, short, shallow, blah, blah. But I keep a lot of this on hand with me everywhere I go, because I never know what I'm going to need. So that's my one to-go-to set, plus the drawer in the toolbox. It's a lot of sockets. Okay. Here's one that my son bought me, Bostitch Set, my other to-go-to. Very nice set. These things, I don't know much about Bostitch. I'm kind of new at using those, but they feel like the quality of Snap-on, like they're strong. And it's my other to-go-to set when I've got to run or do anything. But these sockets, I don't know why, but they're extremely thick. I don't know where he got them, Home Depot, Lowe's, I'm not sure, and I think they're guaranteed, I'm pretty sure. But lots of craziness, like 24 millimeter, 22 millimeter. You never see a lot of stuff like that with standard socket sets. So it has the larger sizes in it, and Allen had sets, Torx, very long extension, and the shorter ones. But I really like this set. He really did a good job picking it out for me. Oops. Put it back right, and looky, lifetime warranty. I just can't remember if it's Home Depot or Lowe's when you break something. Here's something interesting. Does anybody remember JCPenney? Well, they used to have a JCPenney Auto Center, and they would, I guess, mount tires, do front end alignment, stuff like that. This is Pencraft. And I thought that was really cool. It was my dad's. Old Pencraft sockets. I just thought that was amazing. I need to take out time and clean up everything, but I thought that was kind of interesting. It makes me smile. I remember my dad with this little set. He kept it in his truck. Not sure why, but he did. So let's walk over this way. I utilize the Harbor Freight. It's more of a low profile jack, and I've never had a problem with it. But one thing I can tell you is to make sure you bleed them off once a year. I can even do a short video on that, because all jacks bleed off the same. But you should keep some hydraulic jack oil on hand and go ahead and bleed them off once a year, and they work much better. Heavy duty LED light for filming for you guys so you can see. Long extension cords. There's my airline hose, and I use a garden hose rack on the wall so that, you know, it just doesn't kink it up. So, and my compressor. I know you think, well, that's not very big. It's a 21 gallon, and that's plenty enough for me, and it does 175 psi. Truthfully, it runs pretty good. When Justin was here doing my rear quarter panels, he had put his air tools on it and it held its own. So truthfully, I like it, and I'm going to spray the car with it because I'm using an LVLP gun instead of HVLP, and we'll get into that later. And there's something my daughter bought me, and my son went in on it together and bought me a mini fridge. That's been nice. Of course, industrial vac. Now obviously this is just Volkswagen parts. I got to clean them heater boxes up. I'm going to be putting them on the marketplace. They're original Germans. They need cleaned up, a couple mild repairs, but I'm going to do it, paint them pretty, and let them go. Now this is going to sound stupid to talk about, but I love these older style kitchen cabinets because you can fit a lot of stuff in them, and they're very inexpensive. And the reason is I got to paint them after I finish wood in the walls, you know what I mean, with the pallet wood that I'm doing. I'm going to paint these brown because I like stuff to look nice. Go find a Habitat for Humanity somewhere near you. And I went and picked up kitchen cabinets for $10 a piece. You can't complain about that. And it's nice storage, and it's cheaper than buying brand new cabinets. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know some of the stuff I'm showing you is stupid, and I apologize for that. But if even one of you out there is like, hey, that's a good idea, or you go on a marketplace, buy old kitchen cabinets for like 10 bucks a piece, and you got yourself nice storage. Let's move along. And I keep a lot of stuff on stock though, like cut-off wheels, flap discs, lots of masking tape. You already know about all the chemicals I keep on hand, because you never know. My small detailing department, this stuff, chemical guys, is amazing. And if you ever want to make something white again, like I did here, I only did it once. I still need to go over it. 50-year-old material, and it whitens it up. And I keep, of course, other stuff on hand. There's some Chem Dip, lacquer thinner, acetone, and that's for summer. Ooh. Have no space like me. I've got steering columns and just parts. There's another trunk lid. Gas tank. I need to clean that up. It's for a Super Beetle. I'm going to shuffle that off. And dashboard I'm going to refinish. Fenders. I use my rafters as a lot of storage. I kind of have no choice. One thing I forgot to mention, of course, grease guns. I have 2 of them. And I'm actually getting an attachment very soon. They're sending it to me to sponsor it and see how it works. So it's the perfect time because we're going to be putting a front beam in. And here is something I almost forgot about. And I shouldn't, because these are so handy. They really are. And you can get one at Harbor Freight if you want to save some money. I keep a wire wheel on one end and a grinding stone on the other end. Now I do have buffer pads that I change out once in a while if I'm buffing out some aluminum parts or something. So it's probably the most used thing for cleaning off rusty parts too. I like these old signs. Some I've got on Amazon. Some I've got at Flea Teaks. There's Heather. Hard to see the picture. I just think they're cool. That's a big flag, but I don't think anybody wants a big Slades flag in their garage. But honestly, I like the old metal signs. I think they're cool. And I'm so happy with the way these garage walls are coming out. It just makes me smile because it almost feels like it's turning into a rustic cottage. So sorry to bore you with that. It's free to do, and I like free, you know, when possible. Here's one thing that everybody should have: a vise. Trust me, you will use it. They're not cheap. They used to be reasonable. That one's a pretty big one. Even the head on it rotates around before you tighten it, so it's very helpful. But vices have went up. I advise you to look on the marketplace on Facebook or Craigslist before you go to Harbor Freight, because you can probably get a big beefy one like this for like 40-50 bucks instead of 100 and a half. So That's something else. Now here's something that I do once in a while. As you noticed, my toolbox, it's probably 4 or 5 years old. I really can't remember, but if you notice how nice it is, I mean, it needs wiped off. It's a little dusty. Once a year, I wipe it down really good, and I put a coat of wax on it to protect it. If you notice, a lot of old toolboxes are rusty. It's something that you need to take care of. So once in a while, put a coat of wax on it. Take out an afternoon and clean all your stuff up. It'll last forever. Now that I have bored you to death, I hope you recover from it. I'm sure I missed a few things that I keep on hand, but I thought this was a fun video to do, to show what tools I keep on hand. Maybe some of you can put in the comments what tools you keep on hand. You know, I think that would be fun. I try to keep on hand what I need quickly because I really despise stopping and running to the parts store. That annoys me, and I've done it so many times. Okay, what I am going to do, and I'm not going to film it, being now that I have a mini fridge, a compressor, a welder, 50,000 lights, and power tools, I need more power to the garage. That's going to cost, and I'm going to do the best I can because right now, at 125 feet away from my breaker panel, I literally have a 12-2 line running up here. So when I weld, I got to turn all the lights out, unplug the fridge, and homie, don't play that game. I'm going to get 8-3 wire. And I want to thank Adam Gray for giving me electrical advice. I'm going to do 8-3 wire and run it up here on 2 separate circuits, and I'll have plenty of power for everybody. You can even come plug in here and camp out. We could have a club meeting. So thank you, Adam Gray. I really appreciate your advice. He's an electrician, and I can do all the work. I just wasn't sure what size wire, which size sub panel, stuff like that. So I was going to film doing that job, but it's not for my channel. I think it would be really boring. Maybe I'll have Heather film it and she put it on her channel. Who knows? Okay, stay tuned. We're going to go cut the dash next week, get that at the junkyard. Heather's going with me, of course. She's my buddy. And the following week, I'm going to sit down. I may do it as an extra film and discuss oil leaks on air-cooled motors, how to remedy them and why they leak. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be in a little bit of an extensive video. A lot of talking, but obviously I can't just mime it. But after that, then we're going to start doing the front beam, the suspension, the brake lines, and all that jazz. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel here for our club meeting chat. And don't forget to join the Facebook group so you're always updated when something goes on, or check the community tab here. I will see you all soon. Thank you all so much. Over 10,000 subscribers. We're becoming a big family, and that's what matters. I'll see you soon.